Hello to everybody. It's the pleasure of the Austrian Hemp Association, der Österreichische Hanfverband, that we have the opportunity to talk to Vincent Pasquali today, who's been a professional cannabis grower in California since 1995. Hello, Vince. Vincent, can you tell us a little about your background on what made you decide to become a professional cannabis grower?
Of course. Guten Morgen, Austria. Yes, when I was 18 years old, I had a big vegetable garden in my backyard, and I loved to grow food organically. And this time I was playing soccer, football, European football. And one day I had a problem with my back. I had an episode of excruciating pain in my lower back, and I had realized that I couldn't walk for several days, and I realized I got to do something, and the doctor told me I had a congenital defect with my back, and I was going to have this problem the rest of my life. And so I was looking for something to help me with the pain, and cannabis helped significantly with the pain, and then I started growing the cannabis, and I met other people with Crohn's disease. I had a friend with Crohn's disease, excruciating pain in the stomach and intestines, and he was desperate to get cannabis, and I had a place to grow cannabis, and so I started taking care of him, providing cannabis to him, and one thing that led to another, and I love to farm. I love to grow the medicine.
As a background to our local viewers, I may add that California was the first US state that allowed the production and sales of medical cannabis in 1995. And this has become a truly big business because by now there are probably more than 5 million Americans who treat a multitude of ailments with natural hemp. This is important as it also proves that there are no side effects from treating yourself with medical cannabis other than maybe a smile on the face of the patient.
The truth is, my operation is quite small by today's standards. The medical marijuana industry is mushroomed and continues to mushroom. There's, on every corner, it seems like there's a grow shop and a dispensary. And 10 years ago, when I first started growing 30, 40 plants was a large operation. Today, 30, 40 plants is it's a mom and pop operation. And I grow cannabis because it's a labor of love for me. I'm not interested in making money. I do it for the love of growing medicine.
Vincent, please tell us about the legal base of your operations.
Yeah, there's a lot of turmoil in the industry and the regulation and the government. A new bill just recently failed in California, trying to create some homogeneous regulation for the whole state. And basically, if you have a note from your doctor for any ailment, you have this prescription, you can grow 100 square feet in my county. It's basically county by county. My county is 100 square feet of plants and or 3 pounds. You can always have 3 pounds in your back pocket.
Did you ever run into troubles with authorities?
I did. In 1995 or 94, right before legalization, I had the sheriff come up in the middle of the night. He got lost somewhere in the mountains. I live in the mountains. He got out of the car. They start looking around all over my property. They assume that there's marijuana. They found some plants. They found me. They tackled me, arrested me, and my tenant and a friend. They took us all to jail for 4 days. And it was I was incredibly upset about this because I know my constitutional rights and I know the law. I ended up fighting this, and they dismissed the case against me. And then I went back. I found a wonderful friend, Kate Wells, who is an attorney protecting people for their violation of rights by government. We sued the sheriff's department, and we ended up with $35,000. So that was a fantastic and empowering experience for me.
And what about the paperwork? Do you have to spend many hours in the office? And if so, what is needed to be done?
Yes. I personally don't, because I'm a small farmer. The dispensaries, of course, if you're a legal dispensary, you're required by law to keep track of everything that comes in, who the farmer was, and everything that goes out, who every customer was. And there's obviously, yes, a detailed paperwork that needs to be kept.
Who do you sell to? Do you sell to cannabis pharmacies or to your direct customers?
Yeah, directly to patients.
As medical cannabis has become such a big business, I'm sure the government wants its share in it. How are you being taxed for your operations?
Yes, every county, again, there are state taxes and there are county taxes and there are federal taxes. So it's a little complicated. For a farmer like me, it's basically income taxes. So, I keep track of how much money I make and I pay my taxes end of the year.
Now about your operation, please tell us how it is run.
So I have several other people helping me. I have some partners. It's a lot of work. It seems like it would be simple growing cannabis in the mountains, but to really put a lot of love and care into a plant. I only grow outdoors and I only grow it organically.
As you have so much experience in growing weed, or as we say, cannabis, which strains do you prefer most?
I prefer the Blue Dream a lot for myself. White Widow and the Jack Herer are some of my three favorites.
Do you also manufacture cannabis specialties like hash or cannabis oil, or as what is now known as dabs?
I would love to, but being a farmer, I generally don't have time to get into the extracts and the hash making. Although I often give my trim to my friends, and they love to make the hash with that.
Just as a last question, I'd like to know whether you would have any advice for Austria's path towards decriminalization and hopefully legalizations. I'm confident this interview will be viewed by many authorities and experts in Austria, and latest studies are showing that there is a general rethinking about the situation in Austria. Is there anything the 1 million strong community of cannabis consumers in Austria can do to accelerate this process?
Of course, so many things and so many levels. These interviews are great, interviewing people that have chronic health problems, finding out what's worked for them, finding out the pain management, people with chronic ailments is a wonderful thing. So everybody's got health problems, that's the truth. Pharmaceuticals are incredibly expensive. Pharmaceuticals have incredible side effects. My father told me always never take pharmaceuticals. I've never taken pharmaceuticals in my life. I'm 48, I'm still very healthy. One thing I noticed, there's a lot of alcohol being drunk in the world. Personally, I generally don't drink alcohol, but since I've been in Austria, I've been drinking a lot of alcohol. Everybody's celebrating, and the truth is I don't feel so good drinking the alcohol. I wish there was more cannabis smoked and less alcohol being drunk, because I feel much better, my health is much better, and I can't wait to get back to California where we can smoke and drink a little less.